I'm going to turn my phone off. And bring yours up. Okay. Well, good morning and welcome to our third in a series of home design and remodeling seminars. Today, it is our pleasure to share with you planning your bathroom remodeling project. And we hope at the end of our program and our time together that you'll be a little less confused, maybe more confused, but more questions to ask. And certainly there's no shortage of that. After our presentation, we will post this to our YouTube channel, which may be accessed through our website at CareyBros, CareyBros.com. And you can revisit whatever it is that we chatted about today that interests you. Also, you may have a look at our other two in a series. The last was how to hire a contractor. That's quite informative. And the other is a general discussion about what to think about when remodeling or adding on to your home. We will make time for Q&A, and we do know that you have some questions that you've asked in advance, and we'll do our best to share that as well. Today, our goal is to share information and ideas about the bathroom remodeling process. We want to help you become a more informed consumer and help you prevent the potential pitfalls associated with any remodeling project, and specifically today, the bath remodeling project.
We'd like to help you successfully plan your project, make good choices, get the best bang for your remodeling buck, prevent job delays, stay in budget.
That's an important one.
It is. Staying in budget's always top of mind. And managing changes, because there will be changes along the way.
Out with the old. This is one of my favorite projects. The folks that live in this home have lived in the home for going on, believe it or not, 60 years. And this bathroom, they previously modeled themselves. He loves to work with wood, ergo the skirt at the tub, the wainscot, and the decorative spindles above. Unfortunately, with age and access challenges, the tub was no longer a good idea, especially since this is the only bathroom in their home. So we had the distinct pleasure of creating a bathroom that not only brings things up to date, but also makes it completely accessible for them. And as you can see, in with the new is just beautiful. A much brighter and cheery space. You'll notice several handicap features. There is a
There's no threshold between the bathroom floor and the shower floor. There is a large grab bar and bench in the shower. And that little teeny hook above the grab bar is for the hand shower, which can't be seen in this picture, so that a person can attach the hand shower to the wall, soap up, and then pick it up and rinse down. And of course, another nice feature here is the recessed shampoo soap holder. I thought that was kind of a neat touch. And also look how all of the finish items are the same color: the toilet handle, the toilet paper, all the shower fixtures, the hinges on the shower, all matching. And by the way, the toilet didn't come with that finish, that oil rub bronze finish. It came with what all toilets come with, which is in most cases, a polished chrome plastic handle or a white one.
I want to go back to the previous slide. There is a bench now where the back end of the tub is. So this photograph and the new photograph were taken essentially from the same angle. And we'll look at that again. Really, really amazing.
James, go back to that last slide and talk about that little handle on the toilet seat.
Yeah, manufacturers are doing everything that they can to be sensitive to access and at the same time hygiene. And there is a little nub that you see on the toilet seat. And that is nothing more than a pull that allows you to raise and lower the toilet seat without reaching under it. God knows we know what lives there. So yeah, it's a nice feature. And also for access purposes as well. We have clients who are arthritic, rheumatoid arthritis, and other physical mobility issues, and that makes it a little bit easier and of course improves personal hygiene. So this is a great bathroom, and what we'll talk about of course today is finish and some of the things you need to think about with regard to contracting and design and all of that, but it's a lot of fun.
Let's get started with planning, because that's always the first step. I've met people who've been planning bathrooms since they moved into a house, and they've been there 20 years. So, man, they finally decided it was time. So step one in planning is planning. There is simply no substitute for good and thorough planning. It creates a space for you to make thoughtful and informed buying decisions without being rushed. You will likely be completely pleased with your finished product without the chaos and the dreaded change orders that often accompany the remodeling process. And believe me, when you go out and start looking at products for bathrooms, your eyes will roll back in your head and you'll go home and say, I think I'm going to put this off, but don't do that.
And of course, step two, more planning. And two items that we're going to discuss here are essential that need to be shared with whomever it is that you enlist to assist you with your project. Some folks that we deal with have a terrific idea of what it is they want. That's really changed over the 40 years that we've been doing this as the internet evolved. And, we used to have Sunset Magazine and Home Magazine and this and that, which were print versions. But now with the home improvement television shows and of course House and all of the information online, people have a real preconceived notion of what it is they'd like to see, and they're looking for a little bit of support. Others have no idea what they'd like to do and they're looking for lots of support. Well, whether you're an informed consumer or don't have a terrific idea, what you need is to share what your needs are. That is a prioritized list of what you want to include in your bathroom project, from start to finish, what you absolutely must have in priority order. And you want to make sure that your designer or contractor, sometimes those are one and the same, as is the case with our company, Design Build Remodeling, make sure that they completely understand what it is, your vision is, and what you want to achieve. The other thing that you need to do is think about what you'd like to invest in your project. That's as important as your needs. Keep in mind that a pro can tell you what they think your project will cost, and typically that's in a range. Nobody wears a turban or has a crystal ball and can pinpoint exactly what a project will cost, but they can give you a range. That, however, does not address your financial goals. So, discussing finances and project goals, in our opinion, is an absolute must as part of the initial planning phase.
Well, besides step 2, step 3 is, you guessed it, more planning. And you can see from this elevation view, which is an elevation is a wall view, that although a design will substantially influence the price, if you'll notice in this design, it's all about the finishes, the tile, the grab bar, the shower head, the shower valves, the tub, the toilet paper holder. All of these things, the countertops, all of them may have a major impact on your bottom line. So there are countless choices that can bring your project into or out of budget.
That's a beautiful detail, I got to tell you.
It is. It certainly takes away the mystery in what we do. The more details, the less mystery, the less guessing. So here we're going to start with the design. And in this, we begin with a conceptual design for your bathroom project. And remember, erasing lines is a whole lot easier and cheaper than moving walls once the project begins.
Look at that. Now, you'll see a couple of things on the floor plan. You see little symbols that are with circles, with triangles, and other shapes with numbers. Those all key to other plan sheets which further define and detail what's being done. Your designer can't take for granted that they do this every day and you don't, and therefore, in our humble opinion, the more detail, the better. All right, what's next? Project specs. So in addition to the scaled floor plan that you just saw, your bathroom design should include a few other things. A well-detailed scope of work which addresses everything that's to be done, right down to the door bumpers. And speaking of door bumpers, will they be hinge mount? Will they be door mount? Are they a particular, will they be spring door bumpers, or will they be rigid, and will they be oil rub bronze or chrome or another finish? That's how complex the details are and the level of detail that should be committed to the plans. Elevation.
James, if I may interrupt.
Please do.
You know, James just explained all the choices for a door bumper to try and use that as an analogy for the choices that you have to make. But you have to remember that these are all your choices, and that's the work. The work is in the planning process, you making those choices and having someone help you to make good choices and end up with a quality project.
The other thing about project specifications is maybe you might pick out something that costs $500, but if you have a good designer or a good company that you're working with, what we do is we say, you know, that looks like this, and there's another company that makes one that looks almost like it, that's an excellent quality, that costs $250. So those are things you need to think about too in the specifications.
Now, we talk about elevations that enhance the plan. We just saw that. Perspectives that make it easier to visualize your project. Now, my wife is an example. She's built a number of projects, beauty salons, and also several home remodeling projects. She does not do well with 2D plans. She does not do well with elevations, but give her a perspective and it's just amazing. With that, an electrical plan that details outlets, lighting, and circuitry. That's very important, especially since as part of your remodeling project, there may be things that need to be upgraded to comply with code. That's not because the people at the building department are bad people, it's because they're trying to protect you and your community. So electrical is a big part of that. Plumbing fixtures and mechanical specifications and locations, that's important. Toilet, tub, shower head, all of that. Cabinetry details, what size, what style, what accessories, we'll dig into that a little later. And of course, well-detailed finish selections, and we'll have a look at what that looks like as well.
So the picture on your screen right now shows what's called an as-built floor plan. Well, why in the heck do I have to have a plan of what I already have? I know what it looks like. Well, the as-built plan is designed as a starting point. The proposed design is created using the existing plan, and once the two are complete, the two plans can be easily compared to reflect the changes.
Amazing how that works, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I just want to note that the existing plan shows where the drain is. There's an overall measurement, 12 foot 8.5 by 5 feet. It shows where the drain of the tub is. It shows where the center of the toilet is. It shows where the center of the bowls are. And that will be important as we delve into the new design, because part of the cost, of course, has to do with relocating these items should they need to be relocated.
So now we have a new floor plan. So the new floor plan looks kind of similar to the old floor plan, but the new design should correspond with the scope of work or your wish list. It reflects the major elements that are included in the project. In this case, it was, this is an ADA bathroom for a gentleman who's a double amputee. And you see that there's a lot of detail here with numbers and letters and arrows and measurements. So this floor plan is used to create more finely detailed plan elements, such as elevations, electrical plans, cabinet schedules, doors, windows, how things are connected, and all of the finishes that will be included in this bathroom.
Yeah, and if you look at the plan, you'll see a dotted circle between the toilet and vanity, and that's the area where the wheelchair can turn around, which in the old bathroom was not a possibility. So one of the major reasons for doing this was to create a wheelchair accessible space. And of course, you see the grab bars on either side of the toilet. That was an addition. The shower is wider and the opening to the shower has no door. And there is a trench drain in the floor, which allows the wheelchair to glide right into the shower. And the hardware for the use in the shower is on the wall where the wheelchair goes into the shower. So this was all designed for a person handicapped. And of course, under the vanity, there's quite a bit of open space for the wheelchair turnaround.
So this falls under your wish list. This wish list was for a bathroom for our client's father, who was coming to reside with her. So it had to be pretty specialized.
And he was a double amputee,
He's a
right?
double amputee.
Yeah.
I want to speak for a moment to the nuts and bolts end of this. This was quite an undertaking, and I'll tell you why. Because the toilet was moved from its current location to slightly left of where, closer to the vanity, if you will, so that we could get a nice shower in there, a wider shower. What's complex about that? Well, this is a slab on grade. It's a concrete floor as opposed to a raised wood floor. That necessitated breaking out the concrete, both to convert the tub to a shower, relocate the drain, increase the size of the drain, and to relocate the toilet. Now, there's a fly in the ointment. This, like many of you who have modern homes in the last 30 years, is a post-tension slab. And if one of those cables is damaged, it could seriously challenge the integrity of your home. So contractors like us stay well away from those, but that doesn't prohibit us from doing what we need to do. So in this case, we had to bring in a company to x-ray the slab. They located the cables. They marked the cable locations. Then we brought in a company to identify where the drains are located. And then we were able to drill the slab and make the necessary adjustments so that we could get things where they wanted to be. Needless to say, if your home is on a built-up wood floor with the crawl space or basement, it's less complex than it would be otherwise. See if I can get this, I'm going to clear that, clear all drawings, and go back to mouse, and now move us forward. Okay, this is before and after. And essentially what this does is put the as-built floor plan that we shared with you earlier side by side with the proposed floor plan that we shared with you earlier. And now you can really see the changes.
One of the things that you'll note in the proposed floor plan are little arrows with numbers and letters. And if you'll look at the E as in Edward designation, in each of the arrows, you'll see E1, E2, E3, and E4. The bottom number is all the same. The bottom numbers are all the same, A6. So elevation 1 is on page A6. Elevation 2 is on page A6. Elevation A3 is on page A6. And elevation A4 is on page A6. And this is page A6. And it has elevation 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again, the elevation is a picture of the wall that allows us to create fine detail in the floor plan that can't be seen from plan view. So the elevations simply display the work from a different perspective and contain details that are much too numerous to be placed in the floor plan.
I thought the vanity was going to go to the ceiling.
Yeah.
If you look at interior elevation 1, you see that it's dimensioned. I thought the countertop was going to be 36 inches. No, it's actually 2 foot 10 inches. It's 34 inches. I thought we were going to have 2 foot 6 inches for the vanity. No, it's actually 3 feet. So nothing is, well, look, enough will be missed in the long run, but as long as you can do your best to identify shower height, shower screen height, shower wall cover height, you can detail niche locations and robe hooks and all of that. It takes a little chaos out of the project.
You know, if you notice in elevation 3, lower left-hand corner, there's a note about the robe hook. Robe hooks are usually at about 5'6". This robe hook is down at 48 inches because this is a handicapped bathroom, and the fellow who has the robe will not be able to reach up high. So the robe hook is down at his level.
And the other thing about these interior elevations is when you decide to go ahead with your project, your contractor will depend on these, because it's really disconcerting to have a workman come to you every 10 minutes and say, where do you want this? Where do you want that? Well, those details have already been worked out and they can be followed by the contractor.
Well, I don't want to make that decision until after we get started and things are painted, and then can't we just locate grab bars and towel rings and robe hooks later? Well, certainly you can, but don't expect them to be into solid wood unless you've done the planning in advance, because for most of these, towel bars, grab bars, toilet paper holders, you name it, we go in and put solid backing into the wall, and we'll have a look at that in a moment, so that these will not pull out easily and no one will be injured. And we'll discuss that a little later.
Okay, here's our electrical plan. This is created to finely detail all of the electrical work that's required for the project. The details in electrical plans are too numerous and too busy to put on the floor plan, so they're done as a separate drawing that incorporates locations for outlets, switches, lighting, and circuitry.
And just for your information purposes, the electric code has changed drastically, and you are no longer allowed to have the kind of receptacle in the bathroom that you previously had. Now you must have a 20 amp receptacle. The nice thing about that is that your hair dryer and your hair curling iron won't flip the switch, pop the breaker. So the new electric code applies to bathrooms, kitchens, and the whole house. So the reason we include the electrical plan in every drawing is because every remodel, not just the bathrooms, has to be brought up to the current code.
And inconvenience aside, I just want to note that, look, the 20 amp breaker is not so that you don't have to go to the sub panel or main service and flip the breaker. It's not for your convenience, it's for your safety. Because every time you flip that breaker, that's a sign that the wire is overheating. When the wire overheats, it expands, it contracts, it becomes brittle, and ultimately it could lead to a fire. So while we want things to be more convenient for you, the real motivation is for your safety. This is one of my favorite sheets. I love this. I'm compulsive, I'm obsessive compulsive, I love detail, and this forces the detail. So the finish schedule finitely details every product to be incorporated into the project. And some of the detail includes the manufacturer, Kohler or Moen or Brasscraft or Panasonic, depending upon the category. It includes the model, the color, the texture, the size, the finish, dimensions, and special conditions that may apply to your particular project. So as an example, there's drywall. How is the drywall to be finished? Well, we're just going to finish the drywall like the rest of the house. Well, that may not be the case. You may decide you want a smooth wall finish because you like that look and you want to paint or paper down the road. So assumptions can't be made. Plumbing fixture, if we look at the handheld shower kit, it's a Moen, it's got that number, it's the Eco Performance handheld hand shower kit, it's in polished chrome, and it includes a 60-inch hose. Detail, detail, detail.
And here's the one that James's wife likes, the 3D perspective. And this pretty much characterizes the bathroom, the handicap bathroom that we've been showing you in plan view all along. You can see the trench drain, you can see the recessed niche, you can see the management, the hardware that is at the entry, you can see the rain shower that's at the other end. This shower has two control valves, one for the hand shower, one for the rain shower. You can see that the vanity is recessed and above the floor. The mirror is actually tilted, so a person in a wheelchair can use the mirror successfully. There is ample lighting on both sides of the mirror and in the ceiling, and the floor tile goes into the shower, and you can see the grab bars surrounding the toilet. This is the cat's meow when it comes to determining what goes where in a project.
I just love the technology, and although this is a fixed perspective, certainly now we can, through the magic of the iPad or the computer, take a homeowner and walk them through the project and look at every angle and from top down, bottom up, and it's just amazing. It's a wonderful time to do what we do, but there's nothing like a photograph. And there you are. There's the bathroom before and after, right, Carol?
This is the bathroom that we've been working on and showing you all of the details for. So on the left, you can see the bathtub with a shower rod and curtain, the long vanity that goes almost to the toilet. And on the right, you see this nice, clean, bright bathroom that's inviting and not institutional looking at all. So you've got a linen cabinet with drawers, linen above, drawers below for storage for the person in the chair. You've got storage below the sink and access to the plumbing. You've got some space for hand towels or washcloths to the right on the vanity. And then there's a big open space between the vanity and the toilet. That's for maneuvering. And then you've got a handicapped toilet. The homeowner opted not to put the grab bars in just quite yet until she saw how her dad managed in the bath.
But the blocking is there.
But the blocking is there, and that's the most important part. And then you've got the nice smooth walls in the shower for easy cleaning, the trench drain at the floor, everything convenient for dad at the right height.
Well, how do I know where the blocking is when it comes time to install the grab bars so that I make sure that I'm in to meet? We photograph it. We take a photograph with a tape measure to identify exactly, not only are they noted on the plans, but we take that photograph, and you can do that yourself or have your contractor do that so that you know exactly. And that applies to the toilet grab bars as well as any other. I want to make note of this mirror. It's not an optical illusion. That is a pivot mirror, and it just works beautifully for shorter people like children, or for those who have mobility issues or are confined to a wheelchair. You can see that the mirror is facing downward. It pivots, and it can move depending upon what the specific needs are.
If you're taller, just give it a little push and it will level out, and taller people can use it.
And by the way, I just want to close by saying that the door through which this photograph was taken is a new door in a new, wider opening that was created so that access can be made easily with a wheelchair. Just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful project. Very proud of it. Okay, the estimate. It shouldn't be a guesstimate, and it can only be created after your plans are complete. Anything less is simply a guess. So you want to insist on a thorough estimate. No total price on an envelope, no total price on a letter, no 25 line items on one page. In this case, the estimate for the project was 5 or 6 pages long, and what it did was discuss permits, labor and material, temporary services, like a temporary toilet as an example. A well-detailed and thorough estimate will typically be higher than other vague bids, but it'll prevent unnecessary change orders, cost overages, and project delays.
You know, the estimate is important, as is hiring the contractor. And it's not child's play. The contractor and his crew will literally become guests in your home for the entire term of the project. And you need to feel comfortable with your contractor and be convinced that he or she can deliver the quality that you want, and on time and in budget. And contractor shopping is one of the most daunting tasks in the remodeling process. And I got to tell you, if you go to our website at carrybros.com, we have a presentation like this one that you can view on how to hire a contractor. And it's pretty extensive and very detailed, and I'm sure you'll find it to be extremely helpful.
Well, now that you've started your hunt for a contractor, this is what you need to know. You want the contractor's qualifications. You can avoid becoming a statistic, and there are many, by ensuring that each contractor uses the same plan and specifications to obtain an apples for apples bids. And that's the only kind of bids that you want. Only consider a contractor who meets all the following qualifications. They want to have a valid contractor's license in good standing. To check this, go to the State Contractors License Board here in California, www.cslb.ca.gov, and search for your contractor, and you can do that by name. You want a contractor with experience with the specific work that you're having done. Don't ever hire a painter to do a bath remodel. You won't get what you want. Workers' compensation and general liability insurance, and make them prove it. Ask for copies of those sent from the insurance company itself, not from the contractor's hands. You want everything in writing: the estimate, the contract, change orders, and the plans. Provide verifiable references. I can't talk this morning. Why is that? Ask them for a list. Call these people. Go visit their jobs. Be sure that you find someone reliable by doing this. And a contractor who's willing to complete a bank credit application to demonstrate financial stability.
I want to go back for a second to Remodeling Babe's comment about workers' comp and general liability insurance coming from the carrier rather than from the contractor. I had a dear, dear, dear friend of 25 years who was doing a framing job for me on a major project, and I asked him to send me his workers' comp certificate. And of course, I got one very promptly from him by email. And the receptionist in our office checked with the workers' comp carrier and found out that his workers' comp policy had been canceled. And therefore, we were unable to use him as a contractor because his workers' comp insurance had failed. And even though he was a friend, he sent me a certificate that was invalid. So please make sure that when your contractor agrees to send you the information, that he has it sent from his insurance carrier.
And of course, fast forward 40 plus years later, now a lot of that is available online. That the Contractor State License Board posts that at their website for those who are in California, and the same is true for many other states. So it's just amazing. I want to just say also that I would ask you to go to carrybros.com, click on our YouTube icon, and you can have a look at the video on how to hire a contractor, and that really delves deeper into that particular undertaking. The contract should include a reference to the plans and scope of work. We suggest a fixed sum, not time and materials. You do not want to get into a time and materials agreement. In some instances, that may be a requirement, or it may be an adjunct to a fixed sum because of rot or something that cannot be exposed. But in general, you should stay away from time and materials. and do a fixed sum. Firm start and finish dates, when will the project commence, when will it be completed. The contract should outline what you are agreeing to do. As an example, I'm going to move everything out of my bathroom. I'll clear everything. We'll do that. Maybe you've decided that you want to paint, or you're painting the entire interior of your home and you'd like to have your painting contractor do that at the same time. That has to be enumerated. Contractor responsibilities, what the contractor is agreeing to, how changes are to be handled, if there are to be changes, and there may not be, but if they are, how will they be dealt with? How disputes are to be resolved should one arise, and a penalty clause in the event that you exceed the agreed upon completion date. That doesn't happen to us too often, but it has happened to us, and we've had to pay the piper. And I think it's something that folks appreciate.
Many people believe that getting a building permit is like sending an engraved invitation to the tax assessor, but that's not so. Updating a bath can have very, very, very little effect on tax valuation, and when thoughtfully presented, most projects will have a modest effect, if any at all, on property tax valuation. The permit is required for most remodeling projects, but if you're in doubt, contact your local building department, and the permit provides an added level of protection to ensure that your project meets minimum code and health and safety and sanitation codes. And a contractor cannot obtain a permit without proof of workers' compensation insurance. And want to warn you that if you obtain the permit, you become responsible for the entire cost of project injuries and code violations. You become the whipping post if you file for the permit, even if you hire a bona fide contractor to do the work for you.
Now, a couple of notes. One, workers' compensation is not required by a contractor who is a one-man or one-woman show and has no employees. That is true, but that still doesn't relieve that individual from acquiring the permit for your project. And the other thing is that the building inspection process is not for the municipal agency to act as the job superintendent. It's to ensure that things are done according to minimum code. And if you should sell your home, you want to be able to demonstrate that everything was done to code. If I had a nickel for every home improvement that had to be torn out because it wasn't done by permit, I would be rich as Rockefeller. So do not gamble with for what is true for most of us, the biggest investment we'll ever make.
I have a personal story about permits. I was doing a master bath in my home, and I had installed I was installing the rough-in for a new Whirlpool tub, and the rough inspection occurred, and the inspector came in and he said, "Where's your bonding lamp?" And I had missed the wire that connects the motor of the Whirlpool tub to ground. And had anything gone wrong when I was in that Whirlpool tub later, I could have been electrocuted. So the building inspector saved me possibly from grievous harm by being the person looking over my shoulder to make sure that everything was safe.
Sadly, the building inspector did not take my bribe. Hi.
What was your insurance policy? Okay, we're back to our bathroom for our gentleman in the wheelchair. So good lighting is equal for good comfort and safety. You want things bright enough to move around and see things. So we look at LED lighting as the most efficient for the light and the illumination. Most fixtures today are dimmable, and they offer adjustable color. So when you're out looking at light fixtures, if someone's helping you, ask them how many lumens. We're not into watts anymore. So that's a very interesting question to ask. The other is it dimmable? Because some aren't dimmable. So lighting may be placed in the ceiling, which we did in this bathroom, uh, around the tub or shower, and around a mirror. In this case, we put them to the side because that gave the best lighting for this particular project. Lighting can also be included as part of an exhaust fan, which we did, or as part of a mirror. Lighted mirrors are becoming very popular.
Yeah, I love those. And this is a great photograph to underscore how the width of the door was increased
It
so
is.
that the wheelchair could get in. It shows quite nicely the vanity, which was specially constructed. The homeowner worked with Carol to create the design for this, and it allows him to get to the vanity and for the wheelchair to go below. Yet it conceals the plumbing and still offers a place for some storage in addition to the tower storage that they have to the left. Also, this photograph quite nicely demonstrates the pivoting mirror. You can see that pivoting mirror really shows nicely in this photograph. Okay, ventilation. Boy, this is an important one, especially if you're my brother. Man, oh man, oh man. If I had, again, a nickel for every bathroom project I go into where the bathroom is just covered with mildew everywhere, windowsill, the tub, shower, the caulking, the grout, it's just terrible, the walls. And there's a fan, and the fan isn't working because it's unplugged, or the fan does work, but it is just too small for the space. Well, here's what you need to know. Exhaust fans are required for bathrooms. They're not an option, they're a requirement now. And they're essential not only for exhausting unpleasant odors, but they can help control the high levels of mildew-causing humidity. The great news is that fans today are so quiet that most of the folks that we install them for can't hear them. Of course, they all need hearing aids, but no, the truth is that you really can't hear these. As a matter of fact, building code now requires a fan to meet sound levels that cannot be exceeded. So that's good news. They're required in all bathrooms. In the old days, you could say, I have a window, I don't need a fan. That's not true today. Even if you have a window, you need a fan. So that's a good thing. And by the way, fans can't be ducted into attics, into crawl space, or even through an event. They need to be ducted to the outdoors. And that can go through a wall, or it can go through the roof, but it needs to be ducted to the outdoors. Fans, size matters when it comes to fans. Fans are rated by the amount of air that they move, and that is expressed in CFM, which is cubic feet per minute. In general, an 80 CFM fan will accommodate most baths. And if a fan isn't enough, don't worry. There are options that you can get with your fan. A heater, motion sensor, so that when you walk into the space, the kids can't have control of it. It automatically turns on and goes off. Here's a good one, a humidity sensor. That will activate the fan when the condensation level is too high, and it will continue to run. It can run a half hour, 45 minutes after bathing is complete. It's got a humidity sensor. Maybe you want an LED light as part of your fan, or how about a nice little LED night light? That too, and some fans even have something called pick-a-flow, where with the flip of a switch in the housing, once it's installed, it can be 50, it can be 80 or 120 CFM. And then finally, don't forget that when you install a new high efficiency fan, that the duct size may increase also.
Well, now we come to one of the most coveted parts of any remodel, and that's the cabinetry. And in this case, it's the furniture for your bathroom. And there are a couple of styles, a couple of basic styles of cabinets. They're the frameless Euro style, which you see on the left, and the frame style, which you see on the right. And the frameless Euro style is a little bit more modern, a little bit more sleek design, but it's more vulnerable to racking, which means it causes the cabinet to become out of square. And IKEA cabinets, I'm not picking on IKEA cabinets, but they're an example of Euro style cabinets. And we like Euro style cabinets, but you need to know that these can be a problem in some instances. Face frame style cabinets, like the one on the right, have a more traditional look, but face frame style cabinets are much stronger, even though they're a little bit more expensive typically than Euro style. Want to warn you that some cabinet manufacturers charge as much or more for Euro style cabinets as for frame cabinets, just because of demand, not because they're more expensive to manufacture.
I think something interesting to point out, there are a few things that I like about the bathroom on the left. Look at the different lighting. You have the traditional wall mount vanity light fixture above the mirror, but instead of directing the light outward, it directs the light downward toward the mirror and reflects onto the user. Also, there are recessed downlights that are utilized here. There's some natural lighting with the skylight. Note that the towel bars are stacked one above the other. It's not only great for storage, but also for appearance. It just looks absolutely marvelous. Note floor to ceiling tile all around, which is just a beautiful, beautiful look. Clear glass, frameless shower enclosure with, again, a linear drain. You can see in the lower left-hand corner, amazing. And look at the mirror, the makeup mirror, which is on a expandable accordion mount. It's just wonderful. Just really, and even a decorator shelf below the vanity. And this is a vessel sink, a sink that sits up higher on top of the vanity. These are all design items, just a beauty, and also the vanity is floating. The vanity and the tower are both floating. A beautiful, beautiful design for this particular project. Very, very, very nice.
So now we get to the cabinet drawer assembly, and this is very important. You want a drawer that's going to last, and certainly you want a drawer with a substantial bottom. It's going to make it a better drawer. So you can get a drawer bottom that's a 1/4-inch wood veneer MDF or medium density fiberboard. It's going to be the cheapest and typically will be unfinished. A 1/4-inch melamine or laminate veneered MDF is going to be a little more expensive. It will also be finished, but still in the lower cost range. 1/4-inch melamine or laminate veneered plywood is going to be the most expensive, and it will be finished. So those are your choices. Of course, we like the 1/4-inch wood veneer plywood because it's the strongest, and you can finish it to match the drawer.
And that's what's in the photographs, by the way.
That's right. So we use those, and you can see that everything matches, and that we do use the dovetail drawer box, which is the drawer box joinery, or how the drawer is constructed. So the dovetail joinery is the strongest. It's also the most expensive.
It also lasts the longest by far.
It does. It doesn't come apart from constant use. And believe me, drawers get used more than cabinet doors sometimes.
Dovetail drawers become antiques.
Yes, they do. So the dovetail joinery is strongest and most expensive. And then you can also get a staple drawer, which are butt jointed to each other and then stapled. And these are the weakest and the least expensive.
Okay, hinges. In the old days, all of the hinges were surface mount. They were visible. Or as people evolved and they decided to paint the cabinets. They painted over the hinges, the paint chipped, and well, anyway, we all know that story. Today, from a design perspective, concealed hinges make a lot of sense. The focus is on the beauty of the cabinetry and not on, and maybe the pulls, and not on the hinges. Euro style hinges we believe they're the best. They're stronger and significantly more adjustable than the old fashioned. As a matter of fact, most of the old fashioned hinges couldn't be adjusted. These hinges that you see in the photograph can be adjusted in 6 directions, or at least the one on the bottom. The one on the top does not have all of that ability, but it can be adjusted up, down, in, out, left to right, perfection. With regard to the range, the opening range, Euro hinges can be opened from 90 to 120 degrees. Remember, 90 is at a perpendicular angle to the face of the cabinetry, so you know that 30 degrees at 120 is more, but hey, you want it to open even more? Well, you can certainly get Euro hinges that will open with a range of 170 degrees, but they can be a little on the costly side. But for a bathroom, you don't have that many hinges, so get what you want.
Cabinet door and drawer styles are really, really important when it comes to design. You know, the cheapest construction style that you can buy is a slab style, and that's just a one-piece door. And actually, if you look at the picture to the right, there are no one-piece doors or one-piece drawers. Or, well, there's a one-piece drawer in the second row, second from the right, and the first row, second from the right, and the third row, second from the right, and the fourth row, second from the right. Those are slab drawers because sometimes when you choose a frame door and a frame door, the size of the frame doesn't allow the drawer to be manufactured properly. The frame style is more expensive because it's in 5 pieces. The frame consists of 4 pieces and the panel of 5. So the cost is relative to the assembly method when you have a 5-piece door. If you want a butt joint, it's less expensive than if you ask for a miter. And of course, finger joint doors are less expensive than mortar and tenon. Panel styles, there's the flat panel, which is less expensive. Now we're talking about the center of a 5-piece door, the panel within the frame. And a flat panel is the least expensive. That's the center panel of the door is flat and consists of a single thickness. The raised panel is a sculpted panel and pops out at you in the frame. And they're just limitless. If you look at the doors, you'll see that all these raised panels one is completely different from the other. And finally, of course, an insert of a glass panel, which is more expensive because, you know, handling glass is a problem. And of course, the glass is more expensive than just a piece of plywood. And but one of the nice things about glass is it's available in so many finishes and textures, right, Remodeling Babe?
Yes, you can get things that, my favorite is chinchilla. It looks like they've taken a chinchilla skin and put it on the hot glass and left the fur impression on it. You can get things that look like bamboo, hammered glass, seedy glass. You can get antique style glass. Just depends on the style for your kitchen. I think the most popular is what we call a satin glass. It's a white finished glass that you can't really see through.
And by the way, public service announcement that with regard to the chinchilla glass, no animals were harmed in the process.
That's right. So now we're going to talk about what the corners of the door or the edges of the door are going to look like. Those are called the profiles. So this is our cabinet door and drawer profiles and handles. So your edge detail on the drawer, you can have a hardware-less design, which requires the edge to be beveled to allow a finger grip. and that's up above in ALP, that's a finger grip, or down in RB, that would also be a finger grip. The rest of these, and BB, I think, is a finger grip too. The rest of these remain pretty square and will require hardware to open them. A hardware design, you can put any edge profile on it. You could even use a hardwareless design and still add hardware to it. So you could open it both ways very comfortably. Knobs and pulls. Cabinet pulls can dramatically affect the appearance of any cabinet. Remember to consider the cost to purchase and install the cabinet pulls. And they're available in almost any finish that you can imagine. Just look at this picture here. That's just a drop in the bucket. You could spend hours on a cabinet door hardware website.
Just gorgeous. I love it. I love it. I call it bathroom jewelry.
It is.
I love it. I really, really do. And we see that a lot of people who have finger pulled back bevel doors in a kitchen or bathroom decide to either change the hardware if it exists or add hardware, and it just changes the complexion of the installed product. Okay.
You might keep in mind just very quickly that you need to count your knobs and pulls and then do your multiplication when you're buying them, because you can really spend a lot of money while you're doing that.
And again, that's where elevations come in, because the elevations that you have will demonstrate the number of doors and drawers, and then you'll get an accurate count and you could shop. And we typically order at least one extra, just to the extent that if there's one that's damaged or doesn't work properly, it doesn't hold up the completion of the project, and most retailers will accept the merchandise in return. By the way, Walt made a comment here. He says he likes rain glass. I concur with you, Walt. I think rain glass is very cool. It's a beautiful look, and like the chinchilla, no rain was harmed in the manufacturing.
By the way, Walt, I like the ring glass as well.
Yeah, I love this next slide. It's this really, cabinets are pretty, and having drawers are great, but if you really want to wring out just every square inch of usable space, then you want to look at the available accessories. And one that we discovered was several years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. We were doing a television show at Universal Studios in Hollywood called Home and Family. And we remodeled the bathroom, which was located in a real home on the back lot, the Universal Studios. The only difference was it didn't have a ceiling, because there were lights and rigging and all of that. But it had a real bathroom. So we tore out what was there, and we took viewers through the remodeling process. Christina Ferrari, the model and actress, was the co-host, and she gave us an idea of what it was she wanted. And so we selected cabinet accessories that incorporated the pullout that you see, which goes around the plumbing. That is the P-trap, that polished chrome drain. And she was able to have exactly what she wanted. And she used hers for cosmetics. And as you can see, there are dividers that are installed there. Most of the dividers and accessories like this can be adjustable and played with in any way, shape, or form. But you see, this is two-tiered. You can install one, you can install two. Sometimes, depending upon whether you have a vessel sink, you can have the top one pull out as well. So it just increases storage and comfort and the usefulness of the cabinet exponentially.
And also, please notice that these are dovetailed drawer boxes, which are very good quality.
And I have another dovetailed drawer box, only mine is a little bit unusual. These are docking drawers that you see on the screen now. And You can use them to charge and power today's connected lifestyle with innovative outlet solutions that install into any type of drawer. And if you notice, there's a hair dryer that's plugged in and mounted in the drawer. On the left, you can see that there's a plug in the back of the drawer where you can store a hair dryer. And all kinds of little spots to put curlers and bobby pins and all of the things you need to do your hair. And this will declutter your spaces and keep your countertops clear and organized with in-drawer outlets. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
It's nice because then you're not taking up the space under the sink where you might want to store towels.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so now we have countertops and backsplashes. There's a lot of material choices: tile or solid surfaces, granite, quartz, or marble. Today tile is rarely used for countertops, but is the most popular design solutions for backsplashes, and also detail tiles in showers and tub shower areas. So when you're using tile for a countertop, the tile is typically smaller and more decorative than the standard 4x4 or 6x6 inch tile that was popular in the days gone by. But the biggest expense is associated is installation and labor for tile. Due to the advent of solid surface materials and with the elimination of grout, ceramic tile is not as popular as it once was. However, ceramic tile is very durable and individual tiles can be replaced when damaged. It's still a popular choice for floors and wet walls.
And Walt wanted us to mention that he likes the docking drawers because in addition to a flat iron or curling iron or blow dryer, that he can charge his shaver and his electric toothbrush. And so, yes, I would agree, Walt. Those are, I think what people, there's no sense in investing all of these resources in these beautiful finishes and then cluttering them up. So if you can find ways to declutter, you really maintain the beauty that you've worked so hard to achieve. And speaking of beauty, here are another couple of countertop and backsplash choices. These are backsplashes that match the countertop. They can vary in height. The most pervasively used is a 4-inch, and it might have a square edge. The one on the left is 6-inch. The one on the right is 3.5-inch. Notice that the one on the left has a square edge and the one on the right has a design and a shape, and just to match the countertop edge. So the countertop on the left is a bullnose. It's an 1.5 180-degree full bullnose. It's beautiful. And the one on the right is has a different profile. So a lot of things are happening here. You've got a 2-handle faucet on the right, just to talk about, with a high spout, and you have a single lever waterfall faucet on the left. The right is a polished, or rather a
brushed stainless.
Brushed nickel or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, brushed nickel.
Yeah, and the one on the left is oil rub bronze. We have an undermount. So many people request the undermount sink. That necessitates that the sink opening have a polished edge. By the way, if you want to spend a little bit more money, you can do something that has a sculpted edge like the backsplash and the profile at the edge. You can do that. In this case, it's just a simple polished edge with an undermount sink. To the left, we have a beautiful Native Trails brand hammered copper vessel sink, just gorgeous. And copper's a natural product, and certainly granite is natural. And the mix of the two, in my mind, is just gorgeous. So with that, on the left, Granite is the next step up in material cost for counters. It has been for many years and continues to be one of the most popular solid surface material choices. It used to be reserved exclusively for the rich and famous, but because of the import-export, it's just become so readily available that's driven the price down significantly. And if you're lucky enough, not everyone can be, but you're better able to in a bathroom to get a manufactured slab, it will make the cost significantly less expensive. Just be careful that you don't get into some of these Chinese granites that have an edge detail where the edge is built up, it's sandwiched, and you see the line. We just tore out a kitchen that was only 5 years old because the homeowner was so completely unhappy with the edge, which was so obvious on her granite countertops. So yes, you can get cheaper granite if you buy in these expo stores, but you get what you pay for. And as you can see from the photograph on the left, granite is available in any color, pattern, or surface finish. Marble on the right is not like granite. Marble is a stone. It's not a stone, rather, I should say. It's seashells. It's a soft, porous rock that is easily stained with mild acids such as citrus and alcohol and hairspray, your cologne, wine, nail polish. Gosh, I can't get anywhere near that. I use all that stuff. Marble is the most expensive. It's the least durable, but don't let that dissuade you from utilizing it. It's beautiful. If you're cautious, I had marble in my last home that I lived in for 17 years, and it was amazing.
I'm surprised you never got any red nail polish, any of your red nail polish on that marble.
That's because I didn't stand on the counter when I painted my toenails. Anyway, but
I get to talk about one of the most popular surfaces today, and that's quartz and quartzite. They're really all the rage. Quartz is a man-made material that consists of natural stone and resins, crushed stone, bound in resins. It's formed into a durable and attractive low porosity solid surface material through a process of heat and pressure. And it is among the most expensive choices, but is really, really popular because it's so different. Quartz appeals to customers looking for a low maintenance alternative to other solid surface materials. And then of course there's quartzite, as you see on the right. And quartzite looks and feels like granite, but it's much harder and far less porous. It typically is available in lighter colors than granite and is much easier to maintain. The cost of quartzite is generally substantially more than that of granite. And I got to tell you, you can't get granite that looks as pretty as some of the quartzite that you can put your hands on in the stores today.
And the quartzite, I beg your pardon, the quartz on the left for the bathroom vanity was from Arizona, Bedrosians. And in addition to the large slabs, Bedrosians also offered the prefabricated slabs, and one slab was enough to do the 2 vanities in this home. I want you to look closely at the edge detail. It's a simple detail, but if you look at the modeled pattern in the edge, you will see that it's perfect, and it's not, there is no visible seam there. And there is no visible seam there because, as with granite, this quartz edge detail was done with a miter, and that miter occurs right at the 90-degree angle where the horizontal meets the vertical. And then that miter is polished and it absolutely disappears. So as you shop for product, you want to be aware that though there are different techniques, and by the way, it would be a great time to say that whatever edge detail it is that you select, it can literally double the cost of the installed product. Some edge details can be very, very expensive.
I'd like to add one more thing to that about the mitered edge. If you're using a product that has some movement in it, if you do an edge that's laminated, it could mismatch the pattern or the flow of the material. But if you use this miter edge, the flow of the material will flow right over the edge and continue, and it's very, very smart looking.
Walt asks a great question, and we're grateful for Walt today. And by the way, you can ask a question like Walt. You just hit the webinar chat button, and you can type in your question. And we know that some of you ask questions in advance, and we will answer those. But Walt says, is cultured marble still a consideration? You know, interestingly, Walt, cultured marble fell out of favor for many, many, many years. And in the last several years, it has come back. The product is better than ever. There are more choices than ever. The manufacturing techniques and the petrochemicals and materials used in the manufacture are terrific. And so the answer to your question, it is most definitely still a consideration. As a matter of fact, when we began our presentation, we showed you the bathtub with the wood spindles above and the wainscot, and we replaced that with an accessible shower with a tile floor. Those walls and that seat were cultured marble. There are a host of other finishes that can be installed as well on walls, sheet goods, and there are products like Piedrafina, which are cultured stone, that are a hybrid of, say, cultured marble and quartz, which are also making their way onto the set, and they're quite great. But yes, cultured marble is still a player.
Okay, let's take a look at flooring for the bathrooms now. So on the left, you can see a sheet vinyl that has a pretty mosaic pattern to it. It coordinates nicely with the homeowner's selections there. So the pros on sheet vinyl is that it is cost efficient. The con is that it's susceptible to damage, and repairs can be expensive, and it has limited design flexibility. And if you have a space that's wider than your sheet good, you're going to end up with a seam in it. So you have to be careful to shop for a sheet good or a sheet vinyl that has a width appropriate for your space. The second, the luxury vinyl tile on the right, believe it or not, that is not hardwood. That is luxury vinyl tile, and it actually matches the bamboo flooring throughout the house. So there's not a big postage stamp look when you move from one space to the other. Luxury vinyl tile is, the pro is that it's durable, it's waterproof, and it can match surrounding engineered woods, and it is repairable. The con is that it's pricey and it lacks a good transition strip. So you end up with sort of a bump between floor changes.
I want to, before we move on, we have a question, and I'd also like to make a comment about this particular slide. You're going to see this bathroom on the right again from a different angle or two. This was in a little home, one of the oldest homes in our community that was built. It was a kid home built in 1911, and it really should have been bulldozed, but the homeowner fortunately entrusted us with the home. He was passionate about seeing it restored, and we did that. And we're proud that we won a national award for it. But I want to just show you the two-piece closed-couple toilet. It's a little higher than most, ADA compliant. Of course, the pedestal lavatory. But look at the toilet. It's skirted. You can't see the P-trap or the closet bolts or closet bolt caps. That's a nice design feature. And it also is great for cleaning. So that's really, really terrific. It worked. And the window, look at that. Somebody talked about windows earlier. That is a wonderful, that's an acrylic window actually. and it was just beautiful. The homeowner loves it.
And
Lillian asks, could you please talk a little about drawer slides, the difference in quality and side versus bottom slides? I want to just tell you, Lillian, that in our virtual seminar #1, which is accessible through carrybros.com, click on our YouTube channel, go to videos, you'll see the kitchen and bath and addition remodeling presentation. We delve into drawer slides in great detail, but I know that Morris and Carol both would like to address your question with regard to side versus bottom and the difference in quality.
okay, so we use a lot of custom cabinetry, and there's going to be differences in the drawer glides between custom and manufactured cabinets. So our cabinet maker uses a slide that pushes the drawer box right up against the side of the cabinet. And these are ball bearing, full extension. You can pull the back all the way out to the front of the cabinet.
They're the bottom mount.
Yeah, and
So with the hardware under the drawer, instead of on the sides, you get a much wider drawer, a little shorter top to bottom, but usually that isn't a serious issue as much as the width of a drawer. So undermount glides really have a lot to do with getting a good wide drawer. And also, we use anywhere from 100-pound to 150-pound glides rather than anything of less strength, because those glides allow little children to climb on the drawers without breaking them or bending them.
also in a manufactured cabinet, you're probably going to get side glides. They're going to make your drawer a little narrower, and they're not going to be as long lasting.
And of course, what one would mostly find is what's called an epoxy glide, and that is the white finished, a good 20 to 25% of the depth of the drawer is inaccessible because it's not full extension. So when you look for glides, you want something that is full extension, #1, soft close, where they, when you get to the last couple 3 inches, the drawer closes softly and it closes by itself. And then of course you want a heavy duty glide. And you can Bloom, BLUM, or Grass are 2 of the most popular. And the undermount gives you, as Morris indicated, something that is a little wider.
So when you're pulling a drawer out and you're trying it, the drawer may wiggle. And I want you to remember that an empty drawer is an empty drawer, but when you put things into the drawer and you fill it, the drawer is going to be weighted, and it will, on the soft close, it will actually close better.
And it'll be more stable.
Yes.
All right, continuing with flooring. These are 3 of my favorites. I love these. 3 different projects that we did, all with different flooring. The left is ceramic, the center is porcelain, and the one on the right is stone. You can install any of these over concrete and wood. They're all very durable, especially the porcelain in the center. It's very, very hard. If you've ever tried to cut porcelain tile, you know what I'm talking about. They're easy to clean. Notice that for the most part, with the exception of the shower floor, typically that's smaller tile for non-skid. Tile today is bigger, and the grout joints are narrower, less grout to manage, which is wonderful. People complain about cleaning grout and maintenance, but if you use one of the new grouts that is an epoxy grout or a grout that has an additive which prevents staining, and if you seal your grout, then you'll find that it will not only be more durable, but it will be easier to clean and maintain.
Okay, aging in place, important subject. And if you look in the picture to the right, there's a teepee holder in the upper left-hand corner, and that also acts as a grab bar. The same thing in the lower right-hand corner, that's a teepee holder, and it has a curved grab bar. In the upper right-hand corner, there's a towel bar that doubles as a grab bar, or a grab bar that doubles as a towel bar, whatever you choose. And then in the lower left-hand corner, there are grab bars that surround the toilet, and they can be pushed up out of place. They're on a hinge, and so it's easy to clean around the toilet and the wall that you see behind. So whether you need assistance or not, it makes good sense to plan. For safety and comfort are essential for an aging parent, a physically challenged family member, or for your future needs.
So now we have safety and comfort, and these aren't necessarily for anyone aging, but aging in place doesn't even have to look institutional anymore. No more hospital looks. So look closely at the top, at the bottom center photograph. This is blocking. These are substantial pieces of wood. We use 2x6, 2x8s,
2x10.
2x10s between the wall studs. And this is where all of our safety equipment gets attached. So it's really important to know where that grab bar is going to go, where the handheld shower is going to go. And by the way, you can have a handheld shower with a slide bar that's also a grab bar. So there's so much available now for safety in your bathroom. Little children need to be safe. Everyone needs to be safe. At the top right corner, we have a curbless shower or an accessible shower. We have a good-looking drain. We have a seat on the right that folds up when you don't want to use it or someone doesn't need to sit down, but it's there if you need it. A lot of people say, I like to sit in there and wash my feet. They put in a hand shower and a bench, and you can sit down and wash your feet. And then on the left, we have the hand shower, the shower valve, and grab bar. And these are to help you get into the shower and get out of the shower. So there you have the safety components of a bathroom.
I don't need to wash my feet in the shower. I use the foot washer that's right next to the toilet in my house.
That's not a foot washer, that's a bidet.
Well, I want to mention a couple of things. One, if there's something that the two photographs, the one to the left with the grab bar and the shower head and the upper right have in common, and that is that they're the same bathroom, same shower, and there is a tile floor. And the homeowner said to me, "Can you see the flowers? Can you see my floor has flowers?" And I looked at it and I said, I scratched my head and I said, "Oh yes, there are flowers." So I'll point that out. She was very proud of that. The other thing is that just because we went with tile on the floor in the shower and on the floor in the bathroom proper doesn't mean that we had to go with tile on the walls. And in this case, looking at the photograph on the left and upper right, we used the cultured marble. And as you can see, it's just beautiful. They're beautiful together. So the homeowner got everything they wanted. On the right, lower right, again, tile floor, shower floor. Doesn't have to be vanilla. Look, those are 2x2 tiles. Then Carol bordered that with a little glass tile. And then the tile in the bathroom floor proper is 12 inch by 24 inch. If you look closely in the lower right-hand corner of that photograph, you see a glass tile perpendicular to the glass tile that borders the shower pan. She used that, and you'll see it in another photograph, she used that as a design accent on the tile floor. So your what's in your mind and in your heart and what your budget will support can be done And again, that particular shower with the fold-down teak seat has cultured marble walls as well.
The other thing I want to say about using different looks of tiles between a floor and a shower is if there's any visual impairment, it will give you some idea of where you are. So if your eyesight is failing, you can transition from one floor to the other and know you're in the shower now. Or it really is good
I
to
know
do
that,
something like that.
yeah, I know that we've been doing this for people for quite a while, and I think for me, an accessible bathroom is probably one of the most satisfying projects that we do because it's life-changing. We've been doing it for a while, more often in the last several years because of the aging population. And
Of which we are there.
yeah, we're there. And, we have homeowners who have been facing $4,000 to $6,000 a month in care for their parents, and they can justify making a substantial investment in their home to make it more accessible, and there's a significant cost savings. But this has hit home for me as my wife and I are facing her mother's recent decline in health, and we'll be bringing her from Arkansas to live with us in our home from a skilled nursing facility that she's been in for several months. And we're looking at ways to make the home more comfortable for her and safe for us, where we can help bathe her. And we feel that it's not only about making her comfortable and us safe, it's about having her thrive. And as it stands, the environment that she's in is not allowing her to thrive. It's not that the place is bad or the people are bad. They're not. They're good. It's just that she's not around any family, and she needs to thrive. And part of that thriving is to be with us and for us to look after her and for her to have a safe environment. The left photo is a walk-in tub. Those, have become so popular in the last several years. You see them on television. And this particular tub replaced a standard tub, shower over tub. It can replace a shower, whatever. And the doors swing in, the doors swing out. There are grab bars, there are hand showers. They can be combined with traditional showers. We did one of these in New Hampshire. Maine. We went to Maine and did a bathroom installation. This happens to be in my brother's home. It's absolutely beautiful. And again, Carol did tile on the floor with a glass detail. It's lovely. They have quick drain systems. They have quick fill systems. They have whirlpool systems, heated benches, chromotherapy, aromatherapy. The sky's the limit. Lots of different brand, style, sizes. Plan to spend somewhere in the neighborhood of $10,000 to $15,000 just for the tub installation. Of course, this was a full bathroom remodel, and I just think I want to point out the niche, which is done in a different tile, a feature tile. It's gorgeous.
That tile matches the detail in the floor.
The glass tile, it's beautiful. And the grab bar that's mounted vertically to get in and get out of the tub. Just a beautiful, beautiful project. Center photo, again, accessible for a wheelchair, but really a smart looking design. So you don't need to be in a wheelchair. You can do this and have it just look beautiful. And then if there should be mobility or access issues in the future, you're prepared. The one on the right, this was a gal and her mom. Again, she wanted to move her mom into her home. The master bedroom consisted of a vanity and toilet. It was a powder style. It had no bathing.
And it was 36 inches wide.
It was 36 inches by, I think, about 7 feet. And I got to tell you, we tore that out. We made an addition of a master bedroom, and we converted the existing master bedroom into a bathroom and wardrobe. And I have to tell you, this bathroom, this shower is huge. You can have a water fight in there. As you can see, there's a horizontal grab bar, which is a decorator. It's beautiful. There are hand showers in this. There's a traditional shower head. There's a rain shower head, which comes out of the ceiling. You can see the grab bar on the diagonal at the toilet. The toilet is skirted. It's beautiful.
Also noted that it has a bidet toilet seat that is heated.
It does indeed. And speaking of heated, the shower floor is heated. The bathroom floor is heated. The shower bench, which you cannot see in this photograph, is heated. Again, tile on the floor, non-skid with a linear drain at the rear, and then porcelain tile, plank look, which is a wood look that she wanted. It's accessible. Believe it or not, there are twin shower doors here. You can see one of the hinge doors and a panel, but if you saw this entire bathroom, you'd see a second door. There are no access issues in this bathroom.
I want to mention that with the picture on the left, that tub will drain from top to bottom in 1.5 minutes. Also, the tub is a whirlpool that has a water pump and air jets. So it is not only safe and serviceable, but it's also quite comfortable.
And it has an inline heater as well.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, this is yours.
Oh yes, this is mine, bells and whistles. This is the one I like to do. If you notice in the picture on the left, you're going to see a heated towel bar. Oh, that's nice. We have one. And then a warm floor.
We don't have one.
Well, we don't have one, but this will keep your Tootsies warm on a cold winter evening. And then, of course, the one that we like the best is the therapeutic steam shower. We don't have one now, but we had one for 10 years. I used it every morning for a half an hour. Actually, it was probably a little bigger than the one you see here. And Remodeling Babe and I used to steam for a half hour every morning for the 10 years that we had that shower. I never had one cold, not one cold. And it was invigorating. It cleaned out the bacteria from my pores and left me refreshed and healthy. And so these are bells and whistles that can be quite expensive. The steam shower, just the unit itself can be $5,000. And doing the shower in addition to that, you can easily end up using all the bells and whistles at $20,000.
Actually, there is a company, Mr. Steam, who has made a smaller residential unit so you could convert an existing small shower, like a 36-inch or 42-inch or 48-inch
Yes.
shower, or a 60-inch shower.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. A lot of these products were previously reserved for the rich and famous, and more we find that they're mainstream, and manufacturers are creating product that can be utilized even for those with who are the most budget challenged. Interesting, the photograph on the left, that's just a glass vanity top. It's accessible, it's gorgeous, it's got a vessel sink. The single lever faucet is offset. In the mirror, you can see that the shower head is a drench head. It's surface mounted. It's just beautiful. The heated floor with this particular product, with this Schluter, you see the electric cables which are embedded into the uncoupling mat, which is the orange colored mat. And those cables can be run in any configuration. Some manufacturers, you need to send them your template and they'll create the mat in keeping with where you'd like to see the heat. But with this particular manufacturer, you can run the cables and put the heat, say, in front of the vanity or in front of the shower, or even in the shower floor, which speaks to Walt's question, do large showers get cold because of area? Not really. I think that the ambient temperature of the space is the ambient temperature of the space. So I don't know whether it makes much difference whether you have a 4x3 shower or a 5 or a 6x3 shower. I think the temperature of the space, and that can be managed either with this electric resistance task heating through your central system, or through, as we indicated earlier, the exhaust fan that has a heat component. So
I'd like to say one more thing about the picture on the left. When we talk about measurements in a bathroom, they become really critical. If you take a look at this faucet and the mirror, if that mirror opens, it has to clear that faucet. So it's important. In the picture of our handicap bathroom, our top drawer had to clear a doorknob or a door lever. And those dimensions are critical. So there's the little things that you have to think about that you may discover at the very last minute, and you say, oh no, I got to buy a new door because I already drilled the handle, and it hits. So
and I think
keep those things in mind.
Yeah, and I think the only improvement that could be made with the steam shower on the right, for my money, at my age, which is 62, is that I would eliminate the threshold and make it accessible, and it can have a door sweep that that will trap the steam, and the door would need to be wider, and it
Yes.
could be, but that would be the only thing that I would do to improve upon that configuration. But again, look at that rain shower head at the top, traditional shower head at the back wall, handheld shower at the right. And I just think that we're in a time in our industry where there are so many choices and so many awesome products that can be used. It's just wonderful. I just love it.
Yeah. Okay.
We have a before and after bathroom here. This is our little tiny bathroom, and the homeowners have lived in this for over 60 years. These are dark cabinets at the top, 2 sinks, poor lighting in this bathroom, to the new bright cabinet below that was painted. The homeowners liked it. They wanted to keep it. We changed the hardware on it. They got some new mirrors. We did some new lights. They have the porcelain tile wood look floor and the wall hung toilet, and all of the fixtures finishes match, and it even has its own little chandelier.
And by the way, the wall hung toilet existed previously. We just put in a model that was more water efficient and
to code.
And to code, that's correct.
Yes.
This did not have a post-tension slab, but as is the case with most concrete floors, there was steel in the slab. We literally jackhammered the shower, the slab out between below what would become the shower pan in order to reconfigure the drain and get the proper fall. We were able to do that. This fella is a woodworker, and he built the vanity. They did not want to abandon the vanity, so they decided to have us refinish it, and they decided to do new pulls, and they kept something that was, and he did the mirrors, the frames on the mirrors, and so we painted those. You can see in the reflection of the mirror a new high-efficiency quiet exhaust fan. They previously had a wall-hung toilet. He had put that in years ago. They wanted a new wall-hung toilet. We did that. We had to do the equivalent of a the shower flange, the toilet flange, which is in wall. We did that, and there was only one requirement. This gentleman was suffering with cancer, and he was taking treatments, and he had to have a toilet in place. Now, this was their only bathroom, and he had to have the toilet in place at all times. And we accomplished that, and we got through the job just fine. It was their only bathroom. They lived through it just fine. And the good news is that today he's cancer-free, and that they are enjoying their bathroom. So it's just wonderful. This is another before and after bathroom. This is that little house that we talked about earlier, which was a 1911 Craftsman kit home. The upper left-hand corner is the before picture, a little vanity and a toilet. It had been abused over its 100 years, 100 plus years, vinyl peeling. That all came out, and the photograph in the lower left is taken essentially from the same angle. A bathtub went in, a shower over tub, beautiful. The pocket door going into the bedroom. The picture on the right you saw earlier, the vanity, I beg your pardon, the pedestal lavatory, and notice the levers. And the levers are beautiful, as is the high arc spout, just gorgeous. And as is the case with most plumbing fixtures, they come in a suite where you can see the pedestal lab and the tub have analogous design features. I want to note on the picture on the lower left that the floor throughout the home, as is the case in the bedroom, is an engineered hardwood, and it's bamboo. It's just gorgeous. 13 coats of factory finish. Interestingly, the floor in the bathroom is the same color, the same style, but it is by the same manufacturer, but it's not wood, it is luxury vinyl tile. So in wet areas, we put the luxury vinyl tile in, and in the living areas, we use the flooring. Just a beautiful, beautiful project.
Now, when we were discussing cabinet upgrade a little earlier, we were talking about a man who built the cabinet and we refinished it, and he built the mirror frames and we painted them. Well, this is the other side of that bathroom, and you can see where he did quite a bit of woodwork up over the shower door. But you can also see that it's a pretty dark picture, and that the shower is really kind of tight and pretty much not so open, almost like a closet, very dark inside. And after we were done, there is a large clear glass shower door that is much higher than the previous opening. It's not a head bumper. There's a bench in the shower now that previously didn't exist. The floor is, the pan is curbless for easy access. There is a shampoo niche in the back wall of the shower. And if you'll notice, all of the hardware in the bathroom, and if you recall the vanity cabinets, all oiled bronze, including the toilet handle, which is normally either white or polished chrome plastic. But in this case, it is actually metal oil rubbed bronze. And down just above the grab bar at the seat, there is a little gizmo there, and that's to hold the hand shower for when you're sitting down and you want to soap up and hold the shower head while you do that business, and then grab the shower head and rinse yourself off. So it's a lot of things were thought of for this bathroom on both sides.
And the walls are solid, so it's easy to clean. Here we have another before and after bathroom. This one's a lot larger and a little more luxurious, although, you know, they both fit the homes that they're in. So on the left, we have the original bathroom, which has a big, deep deck-mounted tub. It's not a whirlpool, it's just a big, deep tub with a window above, and then about a 3-foot shower with a head bumper and a skinny little 2-foot door and a pony wall separating the tub from the shower, making it look and feel small. So on the right, we have the new shower, all clear glass. We have a freestanding bathtub, a rain shower, a shampoo niche, And if you're a little confused by this picture, it's because the door to the right of the shower is a mirrored closet door. It's mirrored on both sides, so you can see what you look like in the raw and after you get dressed. So,
And of course, the picture shows the reflection of the fireplace at the opposite end of the tub.
and if you notice the tile detail, it runs all the way around the bathroom and surrounds the fireplace. So it kind of adds that cohesive look that you want to make everything go together.
So what's it going to cost? Well, that has a lot to do with what it is you want. It has a lot to do with how your home is built. It has a lot to do with where you live. One thing that we have, those of us who live in the Bay Area, not everyone I'm sure that's participating today lives in the Bay Area, but for those who do, we're in what has been classified as one of the most expensive areas with regard to construction, both commercial and residential and remodeling. That has a lot to do with home values and population density and the shortage of affordable housing, and also fires and labor shortages haven't helped matters. So prices are rather high. The good news is that the return on your investment can be marvelous, both when it comes to resale and at the same time, if you're economizing, as the woman did for her dad, taking him out of a skilled nursing facility to the tune of $4,000 to $6,000 a month, I can't recall which, but she was able to justify the improvement with that savings. So what's it going to cost? Well, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, National Association of Home Builders, Remodeling Magazine, the National Association of Realtors got together and created something called the Cost versus Value Report. This is 2020. This is for San Francisco. Moving from right to left, the green column is the 2020 national averages. The center column is for the Pacific region, which includes Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, Nevada. And then the left column is for the San Francisco Bay Area, and that's by project. So bathrooms happen to be at the top, and there are 5 categories of bathrooms: an addition mid-range, an addition upscale, a remodel mid-range, a remodel upscale, and then of course the remodel for universal design. The first column of the San Francisco column represents what the average job cost is for these projects, what the resale value is once completed, and what the cost recouped is as a percentage. So you can see that a deck addition down below in wood will give you 102%, entry door 120%. Bathrooms are very strong at about 72% on the low side, and 80, almost 90%, 89% on the high side for a mid-range bathroom model. Remember, that's for immediate sale, and it only gets better over time. And again, if you finance, the last thing that we have as part of a deduction is our interest. So if you do finance, then you're able to deduct the interest, and Uncle Sam can help with the investment.
We want to thank you for attending our presentation. We hope that this will help you be less perplexed as you attack your next remodel project, whether it be a bathroom or a kitchen or a room addition. And we hope that you will walk away a more informed remodeler. And we really appreciate, again, you attending.
And we'd like to finish with wishing you health, happiness, and joy. Um, Having a lovely place to live that's safe and well lit will add to your health. Your happiness, of course, will going into that bathroom. It'll make you smile every day and it'll just be a joy to use. So delivering a top quality product is second only to bringing others pleasure, comfort, value, happiness, and joy. And how lucky we are, all three of us, James and Morris and me, to do what we love to do and share it with others for 40 years.
And the gentleman in this photograph has Parkinson's, and again, in addition to creating an accessible bathroom, but an accessible and safe bathroom for him, we did other areas. The entry door to the home, there was a raised entry. We pulled out the raised entry so that there was one uniform level. Carpet got pulled out and hard finishes went in. So navigating throughout the home is safe and comfortable. A chairlift was put in between elevation changes, the family room and the nook. And you might think that he's elderly, but the truth is that there are three of them that live in this home, a husband, wife, and her mother will soon be 100 years old. And so they're all getting along quite well. Let's take a look and see. There's a question, what's the plan with the window in the shower? By the way, Walt is really Bonnie. Well, Bonnie, we're glad you attended, and we hope that you share this with Walt. And a reminder that you can do that by going to the website at carrybros.com, carrybrothers.com also, clicking on our YouTube channel, and within a day or so, this presentation will be posted to our YouTube channel. Window in a shower, okay, no problem. We simply will not build a shower where the window is in harm's way. That means where it's waist height, actually anything below shoulder height. And that's because I don't care how well it's flashed or how great the waterproofing is, water will eventually find its way in, and it's planned obsolescence. So a window is fine, but the window has to be above harm's way. Let's see if we have any other questions that we can share. I know that there were others. Let's see if I can grab those. I'm going to stop the share for a moment, and I'm going to look and see if there are any other questions. If you have a question, by the way, you can raise your hand. I think that addresses, I guess we addressed all of the questions in our presentation. We actually did. How about that?
Wonderful.
And the good news is that if you have other questions, feel free to drop us an email, and we'd be happy to do our best to respond. Thank you so much for attending, and all the best to you and yours. Let's get through this pandemic. Let's get healthy. Let's be safe and support one another. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.